Hello everyone, Crypto Explorer here. Welcome back on the channel. I hope you guys are doing really well. So jump on board with me for this one. Let's venture DeFi space looking for those shiny gems and let's take a look into BUSD Wealth. What project is this? What do they have to offer? What is it all about? Let's take a look into it. So let's just jump in, okay? BUSD Wealth, like these guys, let me just give you a briefing. They're from a new team and they're a fork of Wealth Mountain. Wealth Mountain is a very successful project so far, but they not only forked it, they did some changes here and there. And I think those changes are aimed for the long term sustainability of the project. There are some aspects that I like about this project also that give you more freedom regarding the maneuvering of your funds if you're an investor in it, and I like to see those aspects. So let's get into it. Let's detail it more so that you guys can see what I mean. So first and foremost, I like the DApp. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. I like how it shows. Even the colors used. That's personal preference, of course, but I like it. And and yeah, I think the information is well put together here. It's very concise, informative. So yeah, so far I really like the DApp. Top notch stuff so far. But before like reading whatever I think it's worth to share with you guys about here, like that shows on the DApp, let me just tell you, if you scroll down, of course, there's the white paper link, the Telegram link, the contract, the audit, and the merge. The audit, let's focus on the audit because that's something that is something that for me is very important. A project has to be audited, it has to be giving to their users some sort of reassurance. And it's good to know that George Stamp approves this project with an overall score of 78 points. George Stamp, they are not just any company, guys. They are leading the way in audits on the DeFi space. So it's really good to see that they are partnering up with the BUSD Wealth team, and they did deliver an audit. And also, of course, good to see that they passed the audit with a solid score, 78 points. So let's take a look at the summary and also at team trust and other risk, because those are the aspects that got the lowest score. So let's take a look at those. Let's focus on those. So summary, this project is a fork of Wealth Mountain with 5% fees on deposit and dividends. So like I said, it's a fork of Wealth Mountain, but also like I said, they run some improvements of, on it. They did some tweaks, and one of those is the 5% fees. I was not in on Wealth Mountain, but I think the fees were higher than 5%. I'm not sure. You'll have to double check on that. Don't don't quote me on that, but I think on Wealth Mountain the fees were higher. So it's good to see that they brought that a little bit low. Also, unstaking fees will stay in the contract and referral bonuses can only be staked compounded. I think this is also an aspect which they improved on the original Wealth Mountain contract. So it's good to see this happening. It's good to see this type of move from the team. Daily rate starts at 1% up to 5% depending on the day staked. So yeah, that's just normal, right? The longer you stake, the better your daily rate will become. So now let's focus on team trust. Why did it score so low? Yeah, like I thought. The team is new, has no details of previous projects, also has a small community. So there you have it, guys. They didn't score that good because there is no previous work that we can assess from them. So it's sort of like a shot in the dark with these guys. We don't know how they will handle things, how they will manage things. We only know that they did pass on George Stamp audit, and that's already something good, okay? Other risk, considering the complexity of the contract, at the end of the day, this is still an ROI DApp that relies on funds invested to pay out existing users. If the contract reaches zero, investors will not be paid out. That is like normal, be it a miner, a staking platform, whatever. If the contract depletes, the users will not get, the investors will not get more funds from it. It's just how the game goes, okay? So do bear that in mind. This is DeFi, it's high risk, and this is something you should consider, of course. Also, unstake function can cause the TVL to quickly go down to zero. I like the unstake function. We'll get more into detail um, later on in the video. I like it, but also understand that this function can cause the TVL to quickly go down to zero. So it's a good thing that George Stump gives a heads up to investors that this is something that should be considered. So, guys, even George Stump says here, the IOR, do your own research. So, they did the audit, and um, they also advise you to do so. So yeah, do your own research, guys. Back to the DApp. Let's see what they have for us here on the important information. It's what we just mentioned about the unstaking. Like, this is really good. I like the fact that we as users can unstake at any time, but also do understand that that aspect will allow the TVL to fluctuate in a manner that it's not as controlled by the team or the community. I mean, the community, if they stand together and if they come out with a plan and the bulk of the community follows the plan, it's one thing. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, the TVL can just fluctuate in unexpected ways. So have that in mind, guys. One other thing I really like, approval is required prior to staking your BUSD. The protocol will only request approval for the amount entered. This is a really big thing for me. It's a little detail, but that goes a long way for me because I like to only have to approve the specific amount I want to stake or invest and not have, like, let's say I would want to invest the minimum, but the approval is set to be 100,000 BUSD. Like, I don't want that. And I like to see that these guys are moving on this way and they are implementing this aspect on their DApp. It's a really fine detail that goes a long way for me. Staking fee is a flat 5%. Use the earnings calculator to determine how much a stake will earn daily. So if you scroll down, you'll have the earnings calculator here where you can play around with the stake amount and also the day staked. And as you play around, you'll be allowed to have a projection of what your earnings might be in the future. So it's a good tool to have. Most projects have a calculator built in. This one is no different, and it's a good thing to have. It's a handy tool to have on hand. Okay, so now let's look at the dividends and unstake fees. Like, these two aspects, they really go well. They go hand in hand. And what can I tell you about it? Well, they do seem to show that the team has um, done his job when it comes to to incentivize the investors, the users to stake for longer periods of time. How is that? Well, if you look at the dividends, the highest level of dividends is from day 50 onwards. So from day 50 up until whenever the project is still running, up until the future, you will be earning 5% a day. And also, the unstake fees will be at its lowest point from day 40 up until the future. Okay, so if you do a stake that goes up to day 40, you already are being staked at the lowest percentage of fees. And also, if you do a stake that is at least 50 days in, From the 50th day onwards, you will be earning 5% a day. And that only goes to show that they want to incentivize the users to stake for the long term. And this is something that actually balances out the fact that the unstake can be done at any time. And I like to see that. I like to see that they gave users this freedom to unstake at any time, but they are also aware of the impact this can have on the TVL. And therefore, if you want to earn more, have more profits, you will have to commit to stake for longer periods of time. If you stake for less periods of time, like the first level from day 1 to 20 is 1% a day. And I don't think most people would be interested in it if they're looking for passive income. 1% is not that appealing. So like I said, I think that the fact that the you can unstick at any time does balance out with this aspect of staking for longer periods of time in order to get the most daily percentage out of your investment and also the least fees when unstaking. So here under the dividends table, we have compounding and collecting earnings from dividends, reset all stakes to level 1, creating new stakes has no effect on existing stakes. So yeah, so basically if you create new stakes, that won't affect the already ongoing ones. And when you compound and collect earnings from dividends, that sends your stakes back to level 1. So have that in mind, guys. If you are playing the game, if you are investing in this platform. Disclaimer: dividends payouts are fixed and the TVL fluctuations do not affect the daily yield like in traditional miners. Also, very important thing to have in mind. The the payouts are fixed regardless of what happens to the TVL. Okay, so have that in mind, guys. These are important things, and like I said, I like the info that they put on here on the DApp. The main aspects are here, although they don't have an FAQs. And yeah, I think that they did sum up the most important information here on the DApp on the user interface. So regarding the fees, the dividends earned are also paid out when the unstakes take place. Um, Unstake fees stay in the contract. Also good. Uh, these percentages keep feeding the contract when people unstake. So yeah, it's a good call, I would say. Staking, 5% fee on initial stakes. Stakes immediately start earning 1% daily, like it shows here on the table, right, guys? Like starts at 1%, it goes up until 5%. And stake at any time, earnings included. We already discussed this. Unstake fee start at 10% and decrease to 2%. 5% fee on dividend collections, no fees on compounds. That's also good. Then you have the calculator. We already have taken a look at the audit. Also, the other newer aspect to this project is the merge. Let's take a look at what happens here on the merge. It opens a link for whatever merch you might want to get. There's a price to it, and of course, the price will be the funds that the merch will earn will be invested on the contract. So that's a new thing, a new way that they're trying to feed funds in the TVL. So, I mean, being innovative, I really value innovation, and I can see the effort the team put on, like in trying to go for the long run, in also giving more ways of feeding the TVL. This merch is one of those. Yeah, it's good to see that they did think all of these details, and on the overall, they do play well together. They do balance each other out in a way, but you know how this works, guys. This is DeFi space. It's still high risk, although it does look really good and very appealing in my personal opinion. And the project does have several aspects that level each other out. I mean, like I said, DeFi space, high risk. So do have that in mind if you decide to join in. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's launching tomorrow at 7 p.m. UTC. It's promising. I really like it. Let me know what you think on the comments below and leave me a like if this video was useful to you. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Take care. Keep on exploring. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Goodbye.